Check one. There I am. All right. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So far, so good. This was not guaranteed. This was not guaranteed, obviously, as after yesterday. And today it crowded out during my show on Mainwire Television, Mainwire TV. All right, I want to start right now, and the thing I meant to tell you was this. Remember, Alice had asked me today again this morning. She said because she had brought the story up about the woman who was sick of her, the Reddit thing about the woman sick of her boyfriend always touching her breasts at night. That was Alice found out. It was not me. But I had mentioned, this is what I forgot to tell you last night that I had forgot. But I had mentioned, I think it's part of the deal that absolutely that's part of what you get is like as a husband, you get that. And so, yeah, no, learn to sleep. Like, so anyway, she brought it up today. She said, well, how did everybody feel? Did you notice all the responses to the thing about sleeping topless and you know, the husband? And I said, yeah. We talked about it 2 nights ago, and I mentioned that that I thought that, like I just said, that it's, you know, if you're the husband, that's that. So the victor goes to spoils. That's what you get. And it just so happens that I'm repulsive, and Alice doesn't really need to or want to be touching me. She just wants to be warm. Essentially, I'm a huge heat source. That's what I am for her. And I don't blame her. But so another reason, the primary reason I forgot to tell you is because I've known Alex for 16 years, and we've been together for 16 years, and there was like a 9-year period, really, although it's been a little split up. She was breastfeeding the whole time, which means that her breasts were occupied by the Taliban for the vast majority of our relationship. Which meant that, like, there was like nothing. There was nothing around. And this happens to husbands as well. It's funny. I've mentioned this before, but my friend, a friend that I had graduated from high school with, when Alice and I were first getting together, and we got married, and then we were expecting the baby. He said to me, "Make sure you spend time with the breast. Make sure you spend time with the breast because once you have kids, they're not yours anymore." And I thought that what an interesting piece of advice that was, and I had no idea how true that was. That's from now on. For now on, I have 2 pieces of advice for grooms. One is spend time with rest as right now because they're going to be occupied territory, and it's a tragic loss. 2, get a good can opener, like a really good can opener, the kind of wines. Spend a little money on it. You're going to need that. That's important. I know they're not related. One is just simply straight up food related. And that's the end of my advice. Other than those 2 things, other than really just the can opener, I've done everything wrong. All right. So the Met Gala was last night. And this thing is obviously it's full of weird freaks, demonic freaks, all self-indulgent. Like if you're standing on a red carpet and somebody's taking pictures of you and you're taking it all in, saying, "Absorb me, look at me, look at." It's like the ultimate, like what's that called? Those little dancers, John Benet Ramsey, little dancer, pageant children. Like, take me. It's so vile. What it is it's just vile. It's people just so self-indulgent. Look at my visage. Look, I'm at my peak. I'm a museum piece. Look at me, indulge in this. And it's really like the most base, disgusting human thing in the world to do. And it reeks of, like, if you're doing it and not reluctantly, because I'm sure that some publishers just make everybody go and like, oh God. If you're doing it but not reluctantly, and you're just loving the adoration, then you're a sick person who's got big room to fill in your emotional state somewhere. That is tough. But so yeah, it's gross. It's gross. And like the guy who looks like Travis Kelce, the fat guy, is gross. I don't know I forgot what his name is, George Max or something. And I don't know anybody else's name, but a lot of freaks. Lena Dunham, who's never should be aesthetically prohibited from everything, look like some weird, like strawberry shortcake. I mean, the food, not the doll. Thing. They're like, it's full of freaks and weird freak trans thing, and it was this trans black woman cerebral like it's what it is. And I know I use this all too often, but this is just another adventure into brutalism. And the left loves this. Hey, Liz. The left loves this stuff. Hey, Trish. And it was like, it's gross, and of course it's totally physical, and I don't have the right physical. It's totally visual, and I don't have the right thing to integrate video. At some point, I'll have to make a decision whether or not I should get StreamYard and just do it. But it is just like, it's just gross as hell. And I've got some audio. I just discovered that the audio of the person who's the first trans. You see the stuff, and you know that it's just weird and it's ugly and it's awful and it's weird and it's ugly and it's awful, and it just continues to be. And people act like, oh wow, something very interesting is happening. Something very interesting. And so they're down there at the red carpet doing their thing, and it's too bad too, because like the Kentucky Derby, the women there like are dressed beautiful. They're over the top. And the men are dressed like a little bit over the top too, but it's not like ridiculous. But the Met Gala thing is just like, is weird it's demonic. It really is. When I'm in like it's a weird self-indulgent thing. Look at me and love me and love me and look at me, and like this person that the trans person there who was in some kind of she was the first transgender black quadriplegic cerebral palsy thing, and she's just posing in front of everybody with the stone cold look like everybody else had as well. It just freaks doing. The Kardashians look like morons with these weird bodysuits on. And it's just a disgusting thing. And of course, CBS couldn't get enough of it. They're like, this is what we're here for. They talked about it, and just gross. This gross thing here. Hold on.
First gala, Philip, who has quadriplegic cerebral palsy, is recognized as the first black transgender and physically disabled model to sign with a major agency. She said, "Girls, I've made it."
Yeah.
Very cool. Very
Quite
cool.
a moment.
Stunning in all black.
Stunning in all black, the biggest liar in the history of anywhere, just says she's not stunning at all in any way. Just stop it. Stop it. Like, stop with all these lies. The make pretend world hopefully is going away soon. Of course, AI is coming, so a whole new make pretend world is happening. But it's just freaking. There's nothing good about what they're doing, parading these people up there. It was nothing good, and you know it's like that. You know that when the whole Victoria's Secret thing made it all fat people and trans men, you know that was dumb and stupid. But anyway, this poor person, Aaron Rose Phillip, this guy, I guess. who's the first transplant, actually spoke recently publicly, and you won't be shocked by what he says.
When I first started working, I was an anomaly to the industry. Arguably, in many ways today, really I still am. I think it's time to say the quiet part out loud. The fashion industry is unlikely to book or pay Black trans feminine and or physically disabled models to do runway, editorial, and or campaign because of an absence of whiteness.
What an a-hole. So there you go. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. It's not that you're just like not, you don't make the grade. I'm sorry about that. Don't worry about that, dude. I don't make the grade either. Okay? It's just how it is. Oh, God. These people suck. And also, all the people at the Met Gala, same people going to this gala with all this. It costs 150 grand to get in, pretending they get to do that and then eat all their stuff that they get to eat and then drink all the champagne and get bleep faced and have all their drugs and have all their weird kink sex. And then the moment they get in front of a microphone, pivot and start to lecture you how you need to get better. You need to get better. And the reason that they're allowed to tell you you need to get better is because they're in the really nice place and you're not, which means they must have done something right. Freaking break. All right, to good old rank politics, Rahm Emanuel and Glenn Youngkin got in a very good back and forth. They're at this forum. It's a global conference. Emanuel's always been like a bully, a big tough guy. That's why a lot of times he was good at his job as like chief of staff, because he'd be. You heard stories about him being like physically violent. He was not effing around. But here he is with Youngkin going back and forth on what voters want.
What's going to happen in November, and it's going to come as a big shock to you. People don't like corruption. They don't like the White House looking like eBay. And you have sold, if it ain't nailed down, you've sold everything. And they don't like a set of politics that goes from the rule of law to the rule of one man. And they're going to reject crony capitalism that has been now the rule of what's happening at the White House. And you're going to get your comeuppance. And you can say all you want about socialism. I can tell you right now that's not where the Democratic Party is. It's about building the middle class.
That escalated quickly. As
Glenn,
the most popular leaders in the Democrat Party today.
I want to compliment you.
Avowed socialists.
I want the most popular
Correct.
leader in the Republican Party has sold everything that's not nailed down. Take that ballroom and take everything that's going on with his kids, with what's Secretary of Commerce's kids, and with Witkoff kids. They are making money in this government, and you went into public service to serve good. And I compliment you.
And so did you. And so did you. And now you're sitting here defending a party that wants to have
and you did not walk out. You did not walk out $4 billion richer.
Ram,
you may have a point, but
this is why. Let me just begin.
You are deflecting. I think it's
big time.
There is you do have.
First of all, you don't say that Trump owns corruption any more than anybody else. Trump doesn't hide a lot of stuff that a lot of other people did. Trump's also in business, and the and Lutnick's family is in business. Yes, I would say that the appearance of a conflict of interest would certainly be there. I don't give a flying F. All you freaking snakes go to Washington, D.C. and find a grift. I don't care. I actually appreciate Trump like taking the plane. I'll take it. Oh, there's corruption now in Washington, D.C. No, really? My goodness, that must be an original product of Donald Trump. This thing that the Beltway claims that they're any more morally austere or morally superior than anybody else anywhere is BS. These are lawyers and politicians, sniveling lobbyists and liars. I don't care. Doesn't bother me. You're allowed to do all those things. But these are the world's biggest greaseballs and the world's biggest capital for greaseballs casting judgment on other people.
Look, I live in New York City, the Socialist Republic of New York City. Thank you very much for that. We've seen it. You talked about Mikey Sherrill, the candidate to replace Mikey Sherrill in Congress, very much in the Zohran Mamdani AOC mold. That seems to be where you ask you poll people. Democrats seem to like these.
Mikey Sherrill ran in a 5-person field, and there was the mayor of Newark, the mayor of Jersey City, the president of the teachers union. She won the nomination. Another person, the congressman. 50% of the electorate of the new Democratic primary, where you had multiple choices, was the two most conservative.
Yeah, but you're coming up with socialists.
Members. That was also true in Virginia and Northern Virginia to replace Jerry Connolly. 11 candidates, one got 59, the most conservative member. So I actually reject, and if you looked at Manhattan Institute, your paper wrote about this, Manhattan does a poll of Democratic primary voters. Literally 50% describe themselves as moderate. I know where the noise is, but I also know where the voters are, and it's
That's
not the same.
BS, dude. BS. Your people absolutely have changed. You believe in socialism. You believe in redistribution of wealth. Your people believe. Just go on your neighborhood Facebook pages. You know, these are normal Democrats. I live in a whole state of them. You probably do too. They think it's great that the United Healthcare person got shot. They were not so secretly happy when they were shooting at Donald Trump. They thought it was funny and good and just and karma when Republicans died of COVID. These people absolutely believe in socialism, redistributing wealth. They hate Elon Musk. They don't know why these people are broken people. Rahm's not as broken as they are, and he's just used to being a pit bull, but he ain't part of this.
So if I can, first of all, one thing that I believe is that the challenge we have in politics today is you can't have a discussion without someone unable to wait until it's their turn. And so just wait until I finish. And I will respect your time, and you can respect mine, because that's the way we should treat each other as Americans and as folks that do respect the service that you've had. So I firmly believe that what is happening today in the Democratic Party, and I've watched it happen up close in Virginia, is an effort to present as a moderate, because that's what Americans want. They want practical, common sense solutions that make sense in their lives. And yet, what we saw in Virginia was someone who presented themselves that way and then turned around immediately and literally enacted policy decisions that she had said on the road she would not do. And that's why she is the lowest rated from a favorable standpoint governor in modern Virginia history, because she told people that she had no interest in redistricting. She told people that she was going to work to bring costs down and make things more affordable. And the first actions she took were the exact opposite. And that is the issue today, which is I firmly believe that the challenges that we see with favorability in the Democratic Party, and as we said earlier, there are challenges in the Republican Party as well, but that challenge in the Democratic Party, I firmly believe, is rested in the fact that it is a party that is moving strongly to the socialist side of things, is presenting itself as moderate, and there are no moderates in the Democratic Party today who are winning. It's just that simple. Who, by the way, they may win at a ballot box, but when they start leading and serving, they are demonstrating something very different.
All right, Rahm, we've got a little more time than on the clock, I was told, because it was such a fascinating conversation. So, but respond to that, Rahm, and then I do want to get on to at least one subject of policy.
Let me just say this on the redistricting. This all started in Texas.
It's not true.
Well, I respected the respect part, didn't I?
I got it. I'm going to bite my tongue. My wife would have yelled at me by now. So
well, let me do it for her. Yeah. Okay. Okay. She's not here, so let me handle it for you. Okay. Yeah. In fact, let's start with our pillow talk. I'm not too happy about this marriage anyway.
Don't worry. Don't worry. We never find.
Why don't we keep getting back to the bedroom?
That may say a lot about the two of us. So number one, redistricting has been started here in a way, and I'm watching China. They're working on research. We're working on redistricting. We're working on ballrooms, and they're working on bullet trains.
Stump speech.
This is you can sit there and say this. Do we have challenges on our party? I was there before you were there. Now, be quiet.
I was doing something else.
Governor, I did respect you.
You did.
I respected your minutes, and I didn't interrupt. I'm asking for equal time here.
Got it.
Okay. Number two.
Yeah, shut up, Youngkin.
That I understand your desire. You want to say that about socialism, et cetera, you got one mayor, and that is it. It doesn't define a party. I got many more senators, many more congressmen, many more governors who have actually, your colleagues that you used to work with, who are actually doing sensible policies, growing their economies, and et cetera. You will not defend, because I know you as a character person, you believe in actually the free market. That is not what's going on in this country. What's going on in this country is we're using a type of crony capitalism and corruption to define a political system that is both true on the tariffs. It is true on how contracts are laid in the Pentagon. It is true of how they have been rewarding, penalizing, and it's hampering the economy. Okay. Now, I happen to think we have a challenge on our party, and the real challenges aren't ideological. All right. When you look at the last 25 years, the challenges for both parties is the establishment versus the
stump speech. You get into not bad. You know, he's actually everybody. That's the thing this year. Everybody everywhere is acting like the outsider. You know, Rahm's been in D.C. for like 40 years. He could have done all sorts of stuff. He's been in machine politics. He could do. That's what it is. Everybody's acting like the outsider. It might work. You know, Trump was the outsider. Rahm Emanuel is not an outsider. I don't think. I think he's as wacky as a lefty as anybody else. And I think his best chance for being president is if there is a nostalgia on the left for Barack Obama more than there's a nostalgia for woke idiocy. I don't know that there is anymore. I don't know. I don't think. I mean, these are not these people have lost their minds. So what is it now? Hold on. Met Gala. Yeah, no kidding. I saw someone on X say that Lena Dunham looked like a blood clot. Yeah, kind of. I don't know. Like, I'm a person of girth. Why would you wear then a huge costume? I don't get this. Or was the MTV's tweet I saw calling a tranny the most beautiful woman at the Met Gala a fake? I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't. Julie says, Met Gala, I thought it was a video of Halloween party. Yeah, it was freaking disgusting and odd. It looked weird. Splash says the first 600-pound quadriplegic BIPOC trans hair-lipped woman with alopecia, stunning, brave, pointless. Yeah, isn't it? Isn't it like because of this need to be to emphasize inclusion, you've lost every other criteria. And so now, okay, we're doing inclusion. We're liking the inclusion. Yes, the young black woman poet is really good. She's really good. We like the poetry. Of course, you don't understand any of it. None of it makes sense regardless. But yes, we're liking what we're seeing. We like the movie with the Odyssey, where the woman now, instead of being the fair-haired blonde who gets Helen of Troy now is going to be a black woman, Lupita, whatever. Okay, you're trying too hard and just ruining everything and making everything terrible and ugly, and it's stupid. It's the same thing with Obama's presidential library. Everybody knows that that's a piece of shit. It's like that is an incredibly horrific eyesore for a city that is a great city and kind of a great looking city. I know it's way down on the south side, so it's down where the crap area is anyway, but that thing sucks. And everybody knows that that's terrible. But once again, you have to know, oh, wow, it's majestic. Look how majestic. It's so majestic. Like, they've been doing architecture for thousands of years. And there are certain styles that last and that are celebrated and are, I forgot what the style is of the United States Capitol, but it's a Roman Greek something thing. Same with the White House. They've influence, European influence. And to think because this is year zero, we're starting over and getting rid of all the old architecture because we're more enlightened now. And so they've come up with this absolute shit, this rubbish. And they're like, okay, that's what you want to do. But it looks like crap. And your celebrities look like crap now, too, because you're starting over with them. No, we have a new definition of beautiful. They don't. The concept of beautiful was never some arbitrary, thing that came out of vapor. People are drawn to certain kinds of bone structure, certain kinds of body types. The biology decides for us what is handsome, what is not, and it pretty much is very consistent, pretty much over all cultures. Like, the beauty is a known thing. And for you to say, no, we've reset everything, we're starting differently, because the meritocracy or the way things were before were not distributed with equity. Some people got more things than others. Some people were born not good looking, and so they don't get to do good looking. Well, that's not inclusive, so now they're good looking. We just decide that. It's okay. It's so, but I mean, that's like what the big communists want. That's the fight they want to see, because it'll just erode everything. Meanwhile, they can just assume power and tell people more about oligarchs and tell people more about how, the certain global tech people are running the world. The disabled trainee model broke the glass wheelchair. Yahoo. There's Julian Phil. Splash says the single party state redistricting is a great first shot to having the country break apart. Yeah. Splash says, yeah, in China they don't have blue-haired cat ladies in the street inhibiting progress. Also assuming Ilhan Omar never handed over her records today. I forgot what happened with that. I thought she had 24 hours to do that. She's attractive. I like her. I mean, she's got interesting taste in men, and is obviously corrupt. But Dish says, Trish says, I think about the historic, about the history of architecture in Chicago. They started over with a clean slate and created beauty. Then Obama's library came along. It's like totally true. Totally true. I wish they'd kept the White City up, though. I got to be honest with you, Trish. But Chicago's beautiful. The Elks building there is beautiful. Sears Tower is a handsome, well, whatever it is now, skyscraper. Even the Hancock Tower is fine for a contemporary building. But the old newspaper buildings that were there, like right along Michigan Avenue, it's like freaking gorgeous. And his thing's just a piece of crap. Oh, God, it's rubbish. All right, I don't know much about Stefan Diggs, but I do like a good trial that doesn't work. Stefan Diggs is the Patriots. I think he's a wide receiver. Is that him? Is that right? I don't know. But anyway, he was tried for assaulting a woman. And you could tell his lawyer, the accuser, her lawyer did not have much faith in his client, so his closing remarks reflected that. And I like this. I like a good lawyer who's broken.
So, was Miss Adams a perfect witness? No. She was argumentative, avoided, difficult. But does that mean you should throw away everything she says? She said? No. I think it'd be easy for you guys to do that, but that's not your job. You guys are the jury. It's your job, your sacred duty, to comb over every bit of evidence you heard, to consider it, to give it the attention it deserves. The attention, the scrutiny, the weight it deserves. You don't have to like Miss Adams. You don't have to like the way she testified today and yesterday. But you do have to give her and her testimony the attention it deserves. So yeah, I think that unfortunately for him, they did give it the attention it deserves. Here is the reading of the verdict. Tom Shattuck doing sports. Here's the reading of the verdict in the Stefan Diggs trial.
Count 1, strangulation or suffocation. What is your verdict? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
On count 2, the charge of assault and battery. What is your verdict? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Madam Forelady, members of the jury, hearken to your verdict as the court has recorded it. Upon your oath, you say that the defendant is not guilty of the count of strangulation or suffocation and not guilty of the count of assault and battery. So say you, Madam Forelady?
Yes.
So say all members of the jury?
Yes.
All right.
And that's all she wrote. So Stefan Diggs, the Patriots have their wide receiver back. I think he's still there, right? I think so. So let me just see. I'm going to check my notes. Checks notes. Okay. What have you been watching, by the way? Oh, Jess Machado has some great news. It's not great news. It's terrible news, but Massachusetts tweets out massive drop in police calls after the Massachusetts migrant shelter shut down. A public record request shows the astounding strain on municipal resources at the height of the mass migrant shelter crisis at one emergency hotel shelter in Taunton. Over 200 calls for police or fire response during a 6-month period in 2024, and only 7 calls to the same location for 6 months in 2026. The Healy administration closed the shelter in June of 2025 after it was used by migrants for 2 years. Good luck, by the way, with that shelter. Ooh, you can imagine what the shape it's in. That goes along with another thing that Jess Machado, who we love, it does a great job, had tweeted out. Massachusetts migrants, once again, this is the cost. Massachusetts migrants who were transitioned out of hotel shelters last summer were offered the home base program, which provides up to 2 years of rent, security deposits, and furniture. The program spent over $100 million in 2025, up from just $12 million in 2022, the year the migrants began to arrive in the state, thanks to Joe Biden. So when you hear these freaking monsters tell us that it's just that we're just helping neighbors out, and these people are, we're just doing the right thing. No, they're giving away your tax money to other people. Meanwhile, you're allowed to go into bankruptcy. You're allowed to miss payments, get your water shut off, your electric shut off, have to decide who's going to get paid when. Like, it's freaking effing unfair. They're choosing favorites. They know they're doing it. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't. It's just amazing. Doesn't it make you angry? All right, let's go to the chat. Oh, I'm glad the tech worked. My goodness. You guys, the story. Just think about the history. Jack Chesel says the glory holes are glorious. I will say this. The one that I saw in Chicago, and I've only ever seen one, it was not glorious. It was not. It's funny, too, because usually gay people are good at interior decoration. This one was a very crude hole in the wall, we'll say, in the stall, really, which is what it was. Okay. John. Can't tell the difference in. Okay, there you go. I'm sorry. Okay. I was saying I can't tell the difference in the old messages are in gray and the new ones are in black, and I was having trouble telling which ones were old, which ones were new. I can see that the one called Glazing Gay Boy is an old one, because that was Tim's from yesterday. How dare you?
Hey, Billy from Manchester.
Hey, Billy.
Sorry for swearing, but you're a fucking weirdo.
Oh, me? How so? I don't think so. It's funny you say that, because I don't think so. Although I got a bunch of messages saying that was weird, and I want to make one thing clear. That's the cloning Alice thing. I wasn't showing you to say, look at 2 versions of my hot wife, to do any kind of flexing on my part. That's not at all what I was doing. That was for my own edification. But I just figured, since you guys were on Patreon, and then I might as well just show you what the thing was. I don't think there's any ruling yet on whether that's weird at all. Why is that weird? I find my wife attractive, and I used AI to make 2 of her. I don't think there's no categorization of that. How is that? It's 2 of the same person kissing, both of whom I'm married to, and I've had a big family with. Like, what's the problem? There's no problem. You're trying to find a problem because you're Puritans at heart. There's no problem. This is undefined behavior. You don't know what it is. And by the way, I didn't make that public other than showing you guys. I just simply, it was for I'm having, it's just something funny I'm doing with Alice, and she thinks it's weird, or she says she thinks it's weird. But I think also that you don't know. We don't know. There's nothing like this yet, right? If these were pictures of Jess Machado and I was doing two of them making out, then that's weird too. That's weird because that's another woman, not my wife, and that's like, that would be weird. This is my wife. Like, wait, am I not allowed to Photoshop a corsage onto her too? What are the rules on what I'm allowed to do with wife images? Jesus, pussies.
I'm just going to have to agree now with Billy from Manchester about this whole hotel thing.
What?
And your kids being out of control. And I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because showing us that video you created on AI of Alice kissing her younger self, or younger Alice and a younger self.
Yes.
That was the kind of thing an 8-year-old boy would do.
What?
That means you are an 8-year-old boy.
I've gotten a few comments like that. What was this the word that the guy used? Stunted. Why is that an 8-year-old? I don't get it. I'm a straight grown man with a wife who I find attractive. 8-year-old boy? First of all, 8's a bit young to be making pictures of people making. 8-year-olds hate girls at the moment.
And you are probably raising those children to be 8-year-olds just like you.
That is incorrect. I assure you. It's just my thing with my wife. God.
That's why Alice dropped this show, so she can now correct all of the behaviors that you laid upon all these children.
That you may make, there may be a valid case to some of that. Certainly. I mean, I'm the Mr. Please and Thank You. I got them saying please and thank you. I mean, that's 96% of my job, right? They say please and thank you.
That's what's happening. Now I figured it out. I can't believe it took me this long to figure it out, but it did.
How dare you? How dare you cast judgment? Oh, I will say this, that if Tim or Steve or Tommy from New Hampshire or Phil also are doing this AI stuff with their wives, I don't know about it because they wouldn't tell me. So I think maybe that's the difference. And Alice is kind of a public figure and part of the Burn Barrel thing. Not even kind of. She's been out there. She's a person before she retired. She's an entertainer. How about that?
Hey, Billy from Manchester.
Hey, Billy.
Tom from Thomaston is the best. I'm his number one fan. But anyways, Tom, don't worry about it. If Jennifer comes at me, I will be able to go toe to toe with her. I have no problem with that. She can't poke the bear and expect nothing. So hopefully she stays quiet.
Wow.
But we'll see what happens. 25 seconds.
Jennifer, don't even dignify his remarks with a response. Not worth it. I want some of the Jennifer stories. I mean, it doesn't have to be just good stories. I'm not saying there has to be explicit stories. It doesn't. Whatever. But you shocked worlds last year at this time. My goodness. Or you can just say hi. Whatever. Now, hold on. This is John BBP. Is that Burn Barrel? BBP? Burn Barrel? 250th.
Hey, Tom. John in Greenwood here.
Hey, John.
Hey, what are you guys doing for America's 250th this summer? Because I'm trying to figure out somewhere interesting or noteworthy to go, but haven't really heard of anything very remarkable. So if you have any tips, do share. All right. Talk to you later.
It's a great question, John. So July 2nd, I'm in for Grace Curley on the Grace Curley Show. And then I don't know. I was just talking to my wife and her sister. And we were thinking that we'd want to spend a few days at the Poland Spring Resort. Because we do every year. My son is going up to camp near there, and it's become a family tradition, which I'm very pleased with because it's an organic kind of Shattuck and my wife's sister's family, where it's like it's our organic tradition all together. We all kind of started together. So we might do that. And go up there and do something up there. I'm not really sure. You know, last time we went up there, we mentioned it, and a really great family who are Burn Barrel listeners was up there, and we had a couple of beers, hung out by the pool, and they were great. They were really. I forgot everybody's name. I apologize for that, guys. Yeah, they popped over because we said we were going to be there, and then because they wanted to do a vacation, family vacation, like, and we hung out, so that was cool. And also, obviously, you know, I was I was recognized, obviously, publicly by two adults. These were fine-looking people. That's big, huge. So, yeah, so that was fun. So maybe we'll do that. It's a great place, man. It's a great place. I know they did throw us a few years ago, for the food podcast, a free couple of rooms, but that's not why I'm glazing them, Tim. I say it because it's an oddly wonderful place that I never knew about. I'm working alongside a lot of Mainers now, and a lot of them don't know about it. It's a Poland Spring Hotel. It's not really affiliated with the water anymore. Or we could be in Boston doing something, or probably not. Maybe Boston. I don't know. God, I can't believe it's like 2 months away. John, it's a very good question. But if there's a lot going on in Boston around the harbor and like tall ships, and I'm all for that stuff. I think a lot of us, probably you, John, as well, and Phil and a lot of other of us in 1976. I was down there. I believe I can remember being down there. Maybe I made it up in my mind, but I remember we stayed in the harbor towers, or we were in there for something and watched. So yeah, I like a festival and a party. I'm all about that. So wherever that happens, we should probably bandy about like get big conversations going on, like on where people would go. But Boston does play well into the lore, right, of the revolution. So I'd be all for something like that. Let's see. I thought wasn't Diggs released? Yeah, I thought he was too. Yeah, he's released now. Don't forget $30,000 checks. Oh yeah, that's right. The illegals got checks. I'd like new furniture, says Liz. Yep. Trish says, don't forget we're about to pay a surcharge to go to work in Boston. Oh yeah, that's the what's that called? The congestion pricing, right? So we can pay income taxes. F these people. They're so terrible. Chadwick says Tom wants his own Pornhub category. I do not. I actually don't. I'm not a Pornhub guy. Or I do not. This is not what that's about. I don't understand this. My friend actually said. My friend called. Well, I shouldn't say this. So you're gonna get more crap. Forget it. My friend called me this weekend, and he's like, "Hey, so what'd you do today? What's going on? Did you do anything interesting at all?" And I said, "Yeah, it was romantic. We had a romantic interlude." He said, "Why would you tell me that?" And I said, "You asked me what was interesting. That was the most interesting part. I don't get it. You prudes." Liz says, "Only you are being weird with AI." There's no way. And is that weird, Liz? If your husband was making pictures of you with AI, you did not like that? Of course you would. If you just like, I don't get it. It's like if this was 1797 and I was painting a portrait of my wife on a rowboat, but she was really sitting in a chair posing for me. Is that shady? Like I do not get it. I think that this is what I think. I think that this technology has moved too fast, and so I think that people are falling back to knee-jerk positions of judgment because they don't know what else. They don't know if it's safe to say, "Oh, that's fine," because we're in a new world with this AI stuff. I am not. My AI was good. The picture I put out there today is not of AI. It's also not of Alice. So that's another woman, just a woman I used to work with who was really fun and a very nice person. All right. I'm so glad the tech worked tonight. Right? Aren't you guys happy? I am. All right, here we go. Let me find some music around here. Alice still not home. It's Taco Tuesday. She made the tacos tonight. She would never have been able to do that if she did this podcast. So it makes her happy. She dropped one kid off at play rehearsals, and she's picking one daughter up from Fauntleroy University, Fauntleroy Academy, and so that makes her happy. I know. I wish she were here. I pitch her every day. Believe me, I try every day. But she's not. She's not relenting. I assume if she's bursting with something to say about the news cycle, she'll do it. But I think she's come to the, whatever. She's spending more time with her family and on her house, which is bringing her some fulfillment, which she needs. And we like a happy Alice, right? Right? All right. Thanks, everybody. You guys are awesome. I appreciate it. You're wrong about the AI. See you later.
C'est la vie.